Welcome to NHL Draft Pros. On today's video, we're going to do a scouting report on Adam Jiricek. He is a skilled two-way defenseman out of Czechia who got hurt early on in the season, so that kind of affected his rankings. But we're going to check out some highlights and see what makes him one of the top prospects for the 2024 NHL Draft. And can you support the channel by hitting that subscribe and like button? I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to see scouting reports on other prospects from this draft, head over to NHL Draft Pros on YouTube. I have a bunch there for the season. All right, Adam Jiricek. He is 6'2", 168 pounds. He's a right shot defenseman, and we know that the NHL love right shot D. And if we look at his rankings, NHL Central Scouting has him at number 4 for European skaters, which is really, really good. McKeen's has him at 24, Bob McKenzie at 14, Elite Prospects 28, and the Hockey News at 12. So some decent rankings for sure for the young defenseman. And in terms of points, he had 1 point in 19 games playing in the top men's league in Czechia. But he got hurt back in December at the World Juniors, and so that kind of affected his development, I guess you could say, and also his ranking. So you're going to see that he's a decent player, though, for sure. So as usual, we are going to check out his skating, his shooting, his passing, his puck control, his compete level and defensive play, and what he needs to improve upon. So the first thing is his skating. And Jiricek is an okay skater with some nice four-way mobility, but you can tell that he has some physical maturing to do. And on occasion, he displays an awkwardness in his movements. But for the most part, we'll say that he's a decent skater for now. I mean, he's only 170 pounds at 6'2", so he's got to get a little bit bigger, obviously. And he kind of has a similar skating style to his brother, David, which obviously didn't affect his draft stock. So, once he has some weight, he gets that weight and strength, it should smooth out, I guess, as he gets older, especially with the issues with his balance and coordination. You can kind of see he's a little bit awkward at times, but for the most part, he's a decent skater overall. And it's just too bad that he got hurt early on in the season because, like I said, we didn't get to see him kind of progress and develop. And he kind of struggled a little bit against the in the men's league. You have to make that transition from junior to men's league. It's a big jump, especially for a defenseman. So, but overall though, like his four-way mobility is pretty decent. So we'll say that he's a decent skater for now. All right, his shooting now. Adam Jiricek doesn't have that big shot like his brother David does. This is an area that the younger brother will definitely need to improve upon, not only in his power, but also in his ability to create shooting lanes. So he's got a little bit of work to do on that. And, some of these highlights, you can see that sometimes he gets pucks through and sometimes he doesn't. But for the most part, that's definitely another part of his game that he's going to have to work on. Use that mobility, use his intelligence to kind of find shooting lanes. And so we'll say that Adam Jiricek is at right now, he's an average shooter. So something, again, as he gets bigger, as he gets more mature, a little bit stronger, that might improve for sure. All right, his passing. Now, Jiricek is a smart puck-moving defenseman. And it's when he's under pressure that sometimes he needs to improve, especially when he made the jump from, like I said, Czechia's top men's league. And he had a hard time, I guess, keeping up with the pace of the men's league. But he has some decent vision, and he can find passing lanes through traffic. So, we'll give him that hockey IQ is not bad, actually. And watch this little pass right here. Like, look at that. Just waits, takes two players towards him, and then he dishes it off. And then here you're going to see at the World Juniors, he's going to, do the same thing. He's going to take his time with the puck and put it right through his legs. Like, that is a great little pass right there. Look at this. Waits for the opponent to kind of pressure him, and then he dishes it off. So against his own age, he's really good because he's got a little bit more time and space. But when he was against the men, he struggled a little bit, but for the most part. And the other thing is, you'll see in this little clip right here, number 5 there, he joined the rush. So I like that about him. He's not afraid to kind of, join the offense when he needs to. So decent play right there. All right, puck control. Another aspect of his game that I wouldn't call a strong point, but at times he shows some flashes, like right here against, again, junior players against his own age. He's got some decent puck control, I guess you could say, and he shows it in that clip right there against Slovakia. And then here, same thing. So this is the, I think this might be the Halinka, but anyways, he's got some time and he dishes it off there. So with a little bit of time and space, he's got to adapt, like I said, when he gets older, to the faster pace at the next level. But for the most part, we'll say that he's got some good vision, and and he can move the puck really well, which you like to see in the defenseman. Now, compete and defensive play. This is where he's pretty good, and that's what you want from a defenseman. So like I said, I wouldn't consider him an offensive defenseman, but defensively, he's decent. Like, look at this. Uses his stick and his length and his reach to win the puck battle right there. So that's a nice little play there by Jiricek, and that's against the men. Same thing here. You're going to see that he's going to gap up nice, and he's going to use a stick, little poke check right there. So that's a nice little play, and then he helps get the zone exit. Same thing here. You're going to see him taking the body, so not afraid to use the body. Pushes the player against the boards there. Nice pin. Perfect. Like, this is some good defensive play. So defensively, he's really good, and I like that about Adam Jiricek. Now, the things that he needs to improve upon. I mentioned this before, his shot. He's got to learn how to find some lanes. And look, so that's a weak shot right there. You can see from the point. He doesn't have that power yet, right? But he's only 170 pounds. So, once he bulks up to, 200 plus, I'm sure that that's going to get a lot better. And then here you're going to see he's got to learn how to find open shooting lanes. And here he just kind of shoots it right into the pads there of the defenseman, or actually the forward. So again, finding open lanes. Here, sometimes when he's got pressure on him, he kind of rushes plays, coughs it up a little bit. So here you're going to see, so nice battle along the boards here you're going to see. But then once he gets the pucks, he gives it right to their D. So a little bit of, rushing the play too fast when he's got pressure on him. And then here, you're going to see that he's just weak. He still has to, get a little bit stronger. He gets pushed off the play right there, and they end up getting the puck back. And then same thing here. You're going to see he's going to try to, push this opponent, and he can't. He's not strong enough just yet. So he's got to get a little bit of strength there, and that's what I'll talk about right now. So his strength is defensive play. Defensively, he's really good. Knows how to gap, has a good active stick. His compete. He's always kind of moving on the ice. He's not sitting around not watching plays. And he'll work against the boards really hard and stuff like that. And his skating is decent. Like I said, once he gets bigger, he's got a little bit of an awkward skating, but I think that, it's one of those things where he's got to grow into his body. Now, what he needs to work on, sometimes he rushes the plays, especially when he has pressure. And we saw that in the men's league. Not so much in the junior league. When he's with his peers, he's half decent. But when he's against older players, he kind of rushed the play a little too much. And then his shot, got to get a little bit stronger on that. And his strength overall, he's just got to bulk up. He's got to get a little bit stronger. And he's young. So we got time for that. And like I said, his brother is big and mean. And I think that Adam can be very similar to that. Now, in terms of ranking, I think he's going to go mid first. Mid to, past the 16 mark, before that, or even past. But before this season started, he was probably, in that top 10, top 15 discussion. So, but that injury kind of affected his overall ranking as the season wore on. And that is it for today. So please subscribe, hit that like button, and we are close to the draft, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.